We begin tonight with some breaking news from the Republican National Convention in Tampa involving Maine's disputed Ron Paul delegates. Good evening, I'm Kim Block.
And I'm Greg Lagerquist. Members of Maine's delegation, along with the 10 Ron Paul delegates who lost their seats at this convention, staged a protest just a short time ago on the convention floor, and it quickly spread. Now, you may recall Ron Paul delegates originally secured 20 of Maine's 24 delegates, but the National Party ruled there were flaws in Maine's convention in the selection process in May, and 10 of Maine's delegates were given to Mitt Romney supporters instead. Well, those 10 delegates who were given floor passes, the unseated delegates, they were given floor passes so they could observe the convention. Well, just a short time ago, while former New Hampshire Governor John Sununu was announcing the change in Maine's delegation, Ron Paul supporters throughout the convention erupted in protest, chanting "Seat them now" and "Seat Maine now." That was then shouted down by chants of USA by Romney supporters. Those unseated delegates and other Ron Paul supporters in Maine's delegation then walked out in protest.
They want to stop. They want to stop Ron Paul from being heard on the floor. They're selling the media that they split our delegation. It's fair. We cut it in half. Hey, we made a deal. We didn't accept a deal. This was crammed down our throats.
That was unseated delegate John Jones from Maine just a short time ago. Ron Paul delegates from Maine and elsewhere have been pushing hard to give the Texas congressman a visible speaking role at this convention, so far without success. Meanwhile, Mitt Romney's name was officially entered in a nomination today. His selection as the GOP candidate this week is guaranteed. We'll bring you more details from the convention tonight on News 13 at 11.
In other news tonight, vandals strike at a cemetery in Livermore Falls. And tonight, the search is underway to find out who did it. Today, we caught up with outraged family members of loved ones buried at the cemetery. News 13's Brad Rogers has the story.
Well, these are two of the headstones that were knocked over. Police, we're told, have suspects in this case. And people here hope they are not only caught, but punished. As word spread that vandals damaged grave sites in Livermore Falls, it was followed by a steady stream of people driving in to check on the resting places of their loved ones. But there was no love lost for the vandals who did this.
I think it's terrible. I wish they'd catch whoever done it and hang them up. It's terrible, terrible thing to do. When I heard this on the news, I said, oh, no.
Whoever did this knocked over 20 headstones, destroyed floral arrangements, and broke several trinkets left for loved ones. They also smashed nearly every solar light here, which lit up the cemetery at night.
They broke 90% of them. They just threw them on this tar road and broke them, and this road was covered with glass. And I know my granddaughter lost an angel off her cemetery.
Marilyn Burgess is a member of the Maine Old Cemetery Association. She says, unfortunately, this sort of vandalism happens all the time in Maine.
I kind of like to see them see the inside of a jail just to get this sense of it. I don't, want them to go for 3 or 4 years, but maybe a couple of weeks would do it.
Livermore Falls police say they're investigating, but we've been told they may know who did this because they bragged about it. Fortunately, none of the headstones were damaged or destroyed. Volunteers were here early this morning cleaning up the mess and putting the headstones back in their rightful places.
People lay their loved ones to rest, and hopefully they can, rest in peace, and they can't.
Here in Maine, it's against the law to be inside a cemetery after dark. What's really needed, though, is a fence, but that costs money. In Livermore Falls, Brad Rogers, News 13, back to you.
Thank you, Brad. Residents along the Gulf Coast are bracing for the worst as Hurricane Isaac continues to strengthen. For days, people have been bagging sand and boarding up their homes for what could be a 12-foot storm surge in some places. To help handle the extra water, the Army Corps of Engineers is closing floodgates in the city of New Orleans for the first time. These new gates are part of a system of levees built in response to Hurricane Katrina, which hit almost exactly 7 years ago.
Now, Isaac is already proving to be a deadly storm. The official death toll, in fact, rose today in Haiti. The death toll from Isaac stands at 29 now. 24 of those deaths in Haiti, the other 5 in neighboring the Dominican Republic. 3 people do remain missing in Haiti. Dozens are hospitalized, meaning that official death toll there could continue to rise.
It's hoped that with plenty of warning and preparation, the storm won't prove deadly in the U.S.
Now, right now, that storm is getting closer to the Gulf Coast. You can see it's a huge storm with sustained winds of at least 75 miles an hour, gusts topping 100 miles per hour. But the wind is just one of the concerns and perhaps not the greatest.
Charlie LaPresti is tracking Isaac's potential impact and when it's expected to make landfall, and it's a relatively slow mover, Charlie.
It really is, Kim. In fact, over 24 hours, it's going to move very, very slowly inland over southeastern Louisiana. They're expecting wind gusts on the order of possibly 80, 90, 100 miles per hour. Right now, the peak wind gust is close to 100 miles per hour at the center. Let's take a look at what's happening on the latest Hurricane Isaac radar. We're looking at a strengthening storm at 2 o'clock this afternoon. There were peak wind gusts. Sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. At the 5 o'clock update issued by the National Hurricane Center, they're up to 80 miles per hour. Here's a closer inspection. The hurricane hunters are out there investigating. Flight level winds, notice in that blue line, close to 86 miles per hour. I saw a report from an oil rig about 100 feet in elevations reporting a wind gust of 92 miles per hour. This is how folks are preparing. Of course, down in Louisiana, they're expecting a tidal surge of 6 to 12 feet. I just got a report from Lake Pontchartrain of the water already about 7 feet above normal down in Lake Pontchartrain. Now, the storm itself is supposed to track right near New Orleans, if not just to the west. In fact, let's take a look at the latest track of the storm. This is about 2 o'clock in the morning, making landfall as a Category 1 storm. 12 hours later, the storm is still expected to be a tropical storm. They're expecting rainfall totals on the order of about 10 to 20 inches of rain. So you can understand why they're expecting problems down there. Not only the tidal surge, but also the flooding concerns from just the plain old rain. If you remember from Hurricane Isaac, a tropical storm, Irene, I should say, over in the mountains, there were areas with 6 to 8 inches of rain. Remember all the flooding that occurred there. Of course, that occurred in the mountains. There will be areas 10 to 20 inches of rain along the northern Gulf Coast over the next 24 to 36 hours. So real problems expected there.
Yeah, our thoughts with them, that's for sure, Charlie.
I hope everyone stays safe. Thanks, Charlie. The hurricane has forced evacuations from the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, 2 of those evacuees are from here in Maine for one of the most important days of their lives, in fact. News 13's Janet Barnello has that story.
The sun is shining here on Sebago Lake. It's a beautiful day, a very different scene than the one in the Gulf Coast where Hurricane Isaac is approaching Louisiana. And for one New Orleans couple, well, they're very thankful they were able to make it out here to Maine before their wedding on Sunday.
The one hard part is now realizing our friends might not make it.
Friends who are stuck in New Orleans, hoping Hurricane Isaac passes and the airport reopens before Shira Bergman and Mike Cohen's wedding on Sunday.
We had one friend who I think his original flight is connecting in Memphis, so he just went to Memphis and figures if he needs to, he'll just fly from Memphis. And we have a couple of friends who went to Houston, one friend went to Atlanta, and then everyone else stayed put.
The happy couple knew this could happen. That's why they planned their wedding for Labor Day in Maine, away from the Gulf Coast during hurricane season. But they couldn't plan for everything.
That was actually Saturday or Sunday when it really became clear that we were going to have to change some plans around.
In fact, Shira had to move up her flight to make sure she'd be here for her own wedding. Much to Mike's relief, she made it with the dog, and now they're hoping their guests have the same good fortune.
It's been really difficult to feel like a bride who wants to be super focused on my wedding and also feel like a New Orleanian right now. So I feel like we want to be, here and focused and celebrating our wedding, but we're also worried for our friends and, New Orleans family.
Come rain or come shine, they'll get married on Sunday. They're just hoping Mother Nature's plans will coincide just a little bit better with their wedding plans. In Standish, I'm Jana Barnello, News 13.
The couple's rabbi, who is officiating the wedding, is still in New Orleans. They are hoping the airports reopen on Friday or Saturday so he can get here to Portland.
A St. Joseph's College student was in a Cumberland County court today answering to charges stemming from an incident and an accident in which one of his passengers died. 20-year-old Tyler Hall pleaded not guilty before the judge in this case. He is charged with manslaughter, reckless conduct, and leaving the scene of an accident. That accident happened back in April. 20-year-old Clark Noonan of Pittston died in the crash. Hall allegedly left a party the night of the accident on Route 35. He is free on $1,000 bail.
A young man is dead, killed on his birthday after falling from a tree in Franklin County. It happened in the town of Industry, about 30 miles west of Waterville. Police say Jacob Chick was climbing a tree during his 21st birthday celebration when he accidentally fell 60 feet. Police are not saying whether alcohol was involved or why Chick climbed that tree.
Well, welcome back, everyone. It was a pretty nice day, wasn't it? We got rid of the rainfall this morning. There were a few showers and thunderstorms early afternoon, but those have cleared the coastline. Those thunderstorms associated with a cold front. Temps are going to be cooling off. Look at these temps for Wednesday, mid-70s for highs. The next warm-up begins on Thursday. In fact, it's going to be downright hot on Friday. little muggy as well. Highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s. There's the front clearing the coastline. Notice all the showers and thunderstorms are moving out. Still seeing a few lightning strikes offshore, about 300 lightning strikes all offshore this evening, all associated with that front. So we had the showers and thunderstorms move through early afternoon associated with that cold front. It's all moving out right now. We are going to draw off of this air mass up over southern Canada. If you dislike humidity, you are going to love Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be a beautiful day. Temps will struggle to get out of the mid-70s. It looks like the humidity will be almost non-existent, and there'll be a brisk northwesterly wind, almost a hint of fall, particularly during the morning hours. Overnight lows tonight and tomorrow night will be in the 40s and 50s. Some inland towns, particularly in the mountains, will be in the lower 40s. So things are quieting down here in the northeast. Of course, Hurricane Isaac continues to spin, making landfall late tonight to early tomorrow morning over southeastern portions of Louisiana. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, how is Isaac going to affect our weather over the next several days? Well, this storm is going to sit here and meander over the northern Gulf Coast over the next couple of days or so, and then eventually it's going to shift off to the north, and it looks like it's going to try to bring some remnant rainfall around the time of Tuesday. So Monday night into Tuesday, we actually have some rainfall moving into our neck of the woods associated with the remnants of Hurricane Isaac. That's the way I think it's going to play out anyway. If everything works out, we can keep the rainfall out of here for the long holiday weekend. I think we will. This is 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. The reason I stop it here, notice how cool the temps are. Low 50s at the coastline. Many areas inland will be in the 40s. In fact, some Mountain Valley locations may be in the upper 30s and lower 40s. A gorgeous day tomorrow. Temps tomorrow making in the mid-70s. A picture-perfect day with a light northwesterly wind. Temperatures tomorrow will be seasonably cool, but that's not going to last for much longer. In fact, Thursday will be our next warm-up. We start on a cool note in the 40s and 50s. Afternoon highs, they will warm into the 80s. Low to mid-80s at the coastline. Many inland towns will be in the mid-80s. That's 3 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. If that's not warm enough for you, just wait until Friday. In fact, let's take a look at that forecast in a moment. Overnight lows tonight will be in the 50s. That's at the coast. Many inland towns will be a little bit cooler. Tomorrow, the entire region should be in the mid-70s. A northwest wind, a land breeze, no sea breeze tomorrow. A little breezy at times, 10 to 15 miles per hour, and it looks like there will be no humidity to speak of. Sunny skies return tomorrow, mid-70s for highs, 80s return on Thursday. Notice what happens after that. A cold front moves through Friday night. That should cool us off heading into the weekend. High temps on Friday will surge into the upper 80s and lower 90s. Here at the coastline, many inland areas will be close to 90 degrees. That longer range forecast takes us through the weekend with cooler temperatures. And again, if everything works out, we're going to hold the rainfall off until Monday night to Tuesday. Of course, it's Tuesday right now, and a week out, it's hard to predict at this point, especially with a storm that hasn't made landfall just yet. But it looks like the remnant rainfall associated with Isaac could be making its way north Monday night into Tuesday.
Okay.
So that would work out if it holds
We know
on.
you'll keep us posted, Charlie. Thanks.